We got off track.
Nope,
there was something else.
Gone forever.
No, it's not gone.
You put
Andrew,
her
stop.
panties on your head and went to sleep.
That's how you got.
Oh yeah, I sniffed the fuck out of those panties and just went to town on myself. I love that smell.
I knew it.
Don't you though? Like,
yeah,
best. It's the best thing ever.
It's amazing.
What were we about to mention though? This was actually quite important.
The last thing I wrote down was never sedated, but that was 10 minutes ago.
Never sedated.
Oh yeah, just like doing multiple things at once, kind of deal. And yeah, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it is gone forever.
It wasn't good, but we were going to talk.
Yes, so
we were going to talk about Mind Bullet.
Oh,
we were going to talk about
yeah.
because I sent you a clip.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
this shit.
Joe Rogan and Tom Segura were talking about Mind Bullet today.
Oh really?
I
Yeah.
don't know why it's so small.
Oh shit.
Well, that's what she said.
I know.
We got the audio. That's fine.
I can't see.
I like the Kratom. Have you taken that?
I have taken Kratom.
Have you taken it as a pre-workout?
No, well, yes. Well, I've taken it as a bunch of different things, but you know, Chris and Mark Bell. Yeah, we were talking about him the other day. So Chris Bell's the one who turned me on to it.
That's who turned me onto it.
And so he tells me if you take a small amount, it's sort of like a mild stimulant, like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But if you take a larger amount, it has a different effect. So I go, well, how many do you take? And he goes, well, before I work out, I take 10. I go, 10? 10?
I didn't know that.
You take 10?
Capsules.
I go,
Yeah.
so I take 10. So I took 10. And I was high as I was high as fuck.
Wait, did you take 10 vials?
10 pills.
10 pills. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Thank goodness.
the vials, the liquid form,
Oh, the liquid form.
is
Oh my
more
God.
potent.
Oh, no,
I
these are-
take one of the. I've been doing it for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and I fucking ready to go. I
Does
love
it make you feel like you're ready to work out? Like you feel better?
I do.
It's a weird drug.
It's a weird drug though, because if I'm being totally honest, I also feel more confident on it.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know.
I feel more confident, but that's good, right?
I think it's good for going into a workout. It makes me laugh because you say that and somebody goes, "You mean like cocaine?" And I'm like, "I guess so."
It's kind of like opiate, right?
I mean, I've heard different commentary about it, but
Yeah.
I just know that I really liked it for their stuff. Mind Bullet. I really liked it.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a good Mind Bullet ad right there.
Holy shit. Hey man.
Mindbullet.com, promo code Power Project, save you a shit ton of money.
Hey, actually.
They were talking about that off of Tom talking with Rogan about the book that Tom Segura wrote. Tom Segura wrote a New York Times best-selling book. So he's a New York Times best-selling author, and so he's talking about having deadlines for that, and he was talking about working, and Rogan brought up Adderall, and he's like, I haven't never messed with Adderall before, and they were both talking about how they both think that they would like Adderall too much, so they were like, we never messed with it. And that's when Tom Segura brought up Kratom. He's like, you ever tried Kratom? So he really likes it for that kind of stuff. I don't know, get you in a flow state, make you kind of feel better.
Oh, dude, from somebody that came from like, I've said many times searching for like the right nootropic to kind of get me in that flow state. I mean, spending hours editing photos and videos and stuff, nothing worked as good as Mind Bullet. Like it's as far as like getting into that flow state quicker, but then also like staying zoned in, like there's nothing that comes close to it. And I've tried a bunch of different nootropics. I even tried Adderall before, and I'm glad that by the time I got to Adderall, it was already way overhyped because I was expecting, the Limitless pill.
Right.
And when I tried it, I was just like, this is okay, but like in comparison to Mind Bullet, I was like, this is kind of bullshit. And so like for me, when I take, I like the capsules. The potion's a little bit strong for me, so I just take like 2-3 capsules, and like I'm off to the races.
I will say this because like I did Adderall once because somebody here had some, so they're like, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess let's do it." And I was always scared of doing Adderall because I'm like, I don't want to like this shit too much. I felt a little bit of it. It wasn't as strong, honestly, as like the Mind Bullet potion. The Mind Bullet potions were pretty fucking strong, and you feel good. I've always told people you feel conversational, but whenever it comes to anything like this, I always tell people to assess your habits down the line when you get into the habit of using it or anything, because you can get some people can get into a point where it's like now it's like something that they need, like the pre-workout. You can't work out without pre-workout. You can't have a conversation or go to a setting without,
or you have anxiety if you don't have it.
Or you have anxiety. If things
You're like
get there,
worried, yeah.
you have to assess. And that's the thing. I fucking love mind bullet potions. I love it. But I'm one of those anal people who like always assesses, how am I feeling? I test myself to see, okay, I'm going to do some podcasts without it. Am I still cool?
Right.
Oh, okay, I'm still cool. If I go a few days without it, do I feel like I'm craving Kratom? Oh, I'm not? Okay, cool.
Right.
You just don't want yourself to get there with honestly any substance. That being said, it's really fucking good. Like that's the thing. It's like, it's really fucking good.
Yeah. It's incredible. I didn't use any today, and there's a lot of days where I just don't. Like
Same.
It just kind of depends. It depends on the day, depends on the vibe of the day. I still do this, but it's not great to utilize anything to pick you up. Like you want to be up anyway. Like you want to be prepared. Like you want to, like, there are some days, there are some times where maybe you didn't get the best sleep or something happened and you had to be up earlier. So there are situations where first thing in the morning, you're downing caffeine and it's because literally you're tired. But personally for myself, I found that if I have a good night of sleep and I have a cup of coffee, that turns me into a fucking superhero.
Yeah. Power Project family, I hope you guys are enjoying this bite. Did you know that cocaine increases your dopamine levels by 2.5 times above baseline?
Okay.
Why is this important?
Why is this important, Nsima?
Because, a really cool thing that we learned from Andrew Huberman is that getting yourself into cold water or cold water exposure, like the cold plunge, does the same thing. 2.5 times above baseline. And you have those sustained dopamine levels for up to 4 or 5 hours after cold exposure. This is why we love cold plunging so much. I cannot say this enough. It has been one of the best additions to our daily routines. If you can't already, just take cold showers. But if you want to take to the next level, get the cold plunge. And Andrew, how can they do it?
You guys got to head over to thecoldplunge.com and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save $150 off. I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face and not blue from the cold, blue from holding my breath. This has been the absolute best thing I've ever done for my mental health. Like I said, I can't say it enough. So again, thecoldplunge.com, promo code PowerProject, links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to this podcast.
And if I have if on that same day I had a good night's rest, I have my morning coffee, maybe I got a workout in, and maybe later in the day I take some Kratom and I go for a run, same thing. Like I feel incredible that way.
Yeah.
But if I'm dragging and I'm tired and I'm trying to rely on this or caffeine, it doesn't matter what I try to rely on at that point. Like it just makes me feel kind of worse almost rather than making me feel better.
Yeah, I've heard you even say like the times where you should have the caffeine is when you do get the good rest and you're actually feeling pretty good already. That's when you should really like rev your engine up. But when you're already dragging, like, use that time to be like, this is a sign that I need to go to sleep. So I'm actually going to cut the caffeine. I know it's going to suck, especially if you're in like a mundane job where you have to do a bunch of paperwork and shit. It's going to suck. But, maybe you can use that as like punishment for not getting to bed early or some shit.
Or just like wait a little bit, wait until you feel a little bit better. Like if you, an example would be like, instead of right when you wake up having caffeine, and Andrew Huberman and other people have talked about this is stuff like I just have been doing for a while, just because I recognize that I didn't really need a cup of coffee right when I woke up. So instead of doing it right away, I go outside. I usually go in my backyard. I walk around a little bit. I might cold plunge. 20 minutes later or so. I'm not really big on like routine, just because like even that can kind of make you antsy about like what you're doing and not doing.
Once you get off your routine, oh no, the day is fucked.
Yeah, I didn't cold plunge today.
And then you're self-sabotaging because you're just like, I didn't get my Kratom, I didn't get my mind bullet, I didn't get my cold plunge, and now I'm gonna have a bad day. And then you like you will yourself to have a bad day.
But
sucks.
stack the big habits. Stack those up.
Yeah.
Stack those motherfuckers up. And when those are stacked up and you feel good, and then you have some caffeine, that's when it gives you that zip. But if you're trying to do it when you're tired, now you're like wired and tired, and that doesn't feel very good.
That's the thing. That's what we always talk about. Like, have your sleep, have like your activity, have all these habits that honestly are free. Have these things set, because when you add things on top of it, it becomes better. When you add exercise on top of a good sleep routine, good habits as far as like what you're doing during your day, it's amplified. But if you're getting 4 hours of sleep and then you're trying to stick to your diet, right? Even your diet is sabotaged by your bad habits. But if your habits are in line, and these things don't cost you no money, right? Adding some Kratom into the mix, and even your nutrition, all these things are going to be amplified. Because I agree with you, honestly. On nights that I've had bad sleep, if I come in and we're podcasting and I take some Kratom, or even if I drink coffee, the wired and tired feeling fucking sucks, because you're lagging, man. You're really
trying to
lagging.
You're trying to pull from something and there's nothing there. You're like, I got nothing. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Tank's fucking empty. Another thing I'll say about Mind Bullet is that
I remembered. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say another thing about
Write it
Mind
down.
Bullet that I really like is the consistency of it. Like it has a similar result on me. It lands on me very similarly every time. It may not hit me as hard due to like food or other, hydration or whatever. But it has a lot of consistencies to it. Whereas like, running on mushrooms is is a hell of a time. It's a lot of fun, but it's not nearly as consistent. There's like kind of something else going on there. And then even trying to use like pre-workouts and stuff like that. I've had runs where I'm like, I didn't even really feel the caffeine, or I didn't really feel any of the energy from it. And with Mind Bullet, I feel like I get a consistent vibe from it every single time, no matter what I take it for.
Dog, I agree. I think a good healthy concept for anybody is to start to respect substances, because like I lemon teched some mushrooms this morning off of what Chris Bell mentioned, because I was like, let me try this shit.
I'm a big guy.
Yeah. On a side note, the shrooms that I got from this one dude, like this strain or whatever, fucking strong. Like after I looked it up, I was like, oh, so this amount of this strain is like comparative to 2.5 grams of this strain. I was like,
I know
wow.
what you're talking about.
I realized that afterwards, and I was just in the gym doing my GOTA assessment, like, okay. Anyway, but outside of that though, like when it comes to substances, whether it be Kratom, whether it be shrooms, whether it be weed, whether it be caffeine, like respect the substances and respect that the effect that it has on you. Try not to, like, if it's part of your ritual to use something before you work out, it is good to experiment with how you feel without as much of the substance. You know what I mean? So that you know that, okay, I'm not dependent. Because it's the same thing with weed. When people bring marijuana into what they do, it becomes their only way for them to fall asleep. It becomes the only way for them to wind down at night, the only way for them to go into social settings if they go smoke. And then it's like, I'm not myself without it, right? So can you get the benefit or the benefit aspect of these substances? Can they work well with you, but can you still be great without them? That's how I think about it. And that's how I've integrated it all into my life, because I'll smoke weed, I'll do mushrooms, I'll use Kratom. And I just make sure to pay attention to my overall use, make sure that I haven't built a habit, and make sure that I'm still a good version of myself when I'm not using it, right? I don't even fuck with alcohol anymore though, because I just don't find it beneficial. I'll drink it every now and then, but it's not something that's part of any of my ritual anymore, right? So it's just respect the substance, yo. Hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it, all right? Share this with a friend, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too, so you can get whatever you like from us, all right? Peace.